Uno. Duh.
Uh, just going bilingual.
3. That's trilingual, bitch. Hey.
Welcome back
Welcome back.
to your weekly TIFU Digest. I don't know what's happening here.
Baffler.
I'm not going to waste any time on this, mainly because just to prepare you all, this week, and I'm staring at it right now, RIP to Sam, we have quite possibly the biggest story we have ever had.
I'm willing to bet.
Yep. So, first, y'all know what it is. It's time for an ad read. Because there's no other way to do it than to do it. We're ripping the Band-Aid right off. So y'all already know what it is. We're repping Into the AM, proudly partnered with them to bring you all the dopest threads, much like the shirt I'm wearing right now.
That is
the
a sick
jacket
shirt.
and hat. I love this shirt.
It is a really cool shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get shirts like this and more, hats like that, jackets, underwear, you know the whole nine. You can do that by going to the link in the description and in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy, where you can also do what, Sam?
So you can use our code lousy when you pick out your cool things. And there's so many cool things to pick from. And they release new designs pretty much all the time too. But if you do find some things that you like, I can't talk today, and I'm not going to be able to talk here in a little bit. If you use our code lousy at checkout, it's 10% off on top of whatever else they're running, which right now they're running their anniversary sale, which is up to 50% off on certain things. So definitely go check that out. Get some cool stuff, put it in the cart, and yeah, save you some money.
Absolutely. And again, links in the description and the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy, which while you're down there, since you scroll down to click on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay up on all things lousy. We upload 3 times a week, so we would love for you to be able to engage with all of that. And while you're also down there, go ahead and drop your favorite emoji in the comments, because we need the engagement to tell YouTube to spread us to all corners of the world who would enjoy some lousy content, or fucked up content, or assholes of the internet, whichever you prefer. So, with all that said, again, in the spirit of preparing for this enormous fucking story, y'all know what we do. 4 stories keyed up, 4, 3, 2, and 1, ended on a high note. It just so happens that the 4th one this week is a novel. So, Sam?
Yeah. It's a big one. It's even marked and labeled as XL. So you know that they're like warning everybody. So with our number 4 story this week, today I fucked up by losing my entire life savings of over $600,000 to a rapidly developed gambling addiction and not being able to afford the taxes I now owe. Fuck off. I'm gonna give us a second, because the gambling addiction.
A gambling dick. Addiction.
Hey, sometimes, you know, when you owe a bookie some money, you gotta do some things, you know.
Just shoot me at that point, man.
Just break my kneecaps. Like, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This may be a lengthy story, as I'm going to outline how this happened from the bliss my life was before through the descent into chaos and where I am now. I, 38 male, had at one point amassed over $500,000 in a retirement account with over $100,000 in cash in my checking account. To start, many of you will immediately wonder how I even got in that situation, so let me give a little backstory. I'm an IT professional with a background in software engineering, although currently in management. I make 6 figures and have since I was in my late 20s. I'm generally frugal, save way more than the average person, and don't buy a lot of lavish things. I keep to myself most of the time, go out on occasion, and buy quality on the things I use the most, but don't overindulge. Doing this has led to a happy and generally successful life where I never had to worry about losing my job for even a year, much less where my next meal was coming from. I always knew that if shit really hit the fan, I had enough money to survive for years. I've always enjoyed the occasional casino trip, probably more than my friends, but if it was never really a problem. That is until mid last year. I was a casual gambler playing mostly parlor table games when one day I went to the casino with $600 and sat down at an Ultimate Texas Hold'em game where I proceeded to win nonstop for hours. I continuously upped my bets and kept winning. Eventually, I was betting table max, $3,000 altogether with the various bets. Jeez. The table was drawing attention. I was on a high. Everybody was winning because the dealer was just losing, and I was winning the most. A straight, followed by a full house, followed by another straight and another full house. Shit, I was playing max bets, raising my bet 4 times blind without even looking at my cards, and would still win. Sometimes only with a high card. I could not lose. The table was all cheering me on because when I'd win another $2,000 or so, I'd toss $100 chips to the others at the table as a kind gesture. The largest chips they had at the table were $500 chips. They ran out and had to order a refill. This happened 6 times. 6 times they ran out of money for the players at our table and had to keep bringing more in. To avoid too much attention, I would shove the $500 chips into my pocket and play only with the ones on the table. Any new winnings went into my pocket out of sight. At one point, they decided to change the cards, which takes about 20 minutes, so I got up to go to the bathroom. I thought my pants were going to sag from the weight of the chips. They filled my pockets so much, I worried they might just spill out of my pockets. I later found out that the pit bosses were getting calls from security asking them to keep an eye on me because they were suspicious that I might be cheating. And they said that security reviewed the footage of the night for days afterwards, trying to see what was going on. When I finally stood up from the table, I had won over $30,000 from my original $600 buy-in. That was a high I didn't know was possible. I could buy a car with that, or anything I wanted, really. But then I already could. There was nothing I wanted that I couldn't already have bought. The $30,000 didn't matter. I found out later that was because I was betting so much for so long, my tier status went to the highest level, and that came with tons of perks like a free cruise, free golf trips at a local private club, and over $3,000 in food comps, which were valid at even the fancy casino restaurants like their steakhouse. I would eventually treat all my friends to multiple fancy dinners with this money. With nothing I wanted to spend the money on, I decided to go back again the next weekend. This time I played slots and table games, all sorts of things, and again won more. Everything I touched won. Slots were paying me hand pays right and left. People recognized me from before and would stop to hear the story. I won another $20,000 over the course of the month, mostly on slots, with bets ranging from $5 to $60 a spin. It was all cash, literal paper cash in my closet, and $10,000 bundles just sitting there with no purpose other than to use on more casino trips. My friends all told me how lucky I was and loved to tell the story. It's fun to tell stories about sticking it to the casino. Everybody loves a good winner story. My friends all knew I had nearly $50,000 in cash in my closet. I had just bought a house and started fixing things up. I spent about $40,000 on the house covering paint, appliances, flooring, etc. When I spent that money, though, I was careful to use my card and save the cash for future casino trips. In the weeks that followed, I'd slowly lose more and more of that $50,000 wad of cash. It became $40,000, then $35,000, and I kept thinking, oh shit, if my friends ask to see the cash, I'm going to need an excuse for why I don't have it anymore. I should probably try to win some back at the tables again, which I know just as well as you do now that this is a ridiculously stupid thing to even think, much less attempt. Eventually, my mom would fly into town to visit me, and she lives in a state without casinos and enjoys going as well. She mentioned over and over how she couldn't wait to go to the casino and see how lucky I am. I had to make up an excuse for why I didn't have all the money I told about in my stories. I felt guilty and dirty lying about something as trivial as losing 15K, but I didn't want anybody to know I gave some back like an idiot. Caving into this feeling of shame and accepting my willingness to hide it would ultimately be my downfall. After my mother left, I had no other people to be accountable to. The casino offered me $250 every week and $250 every weekend in free play. I proceeded to go back to the casino twice a week, of course, to collect the free play. But with my betting habits of occasionally betting $10 to $50 a spin, that amount of money can last anywhere from 3 minutes to literal seconds. Once it's gone, I'm at the cashier asking for more money because I'm withdrawing $3,000 at a time, an amount the ATM machines didn't allow me to take. I lost the money over and over, week after week, losing $3,000 or even $10,000. One day I saw my banking app noted, "You spent $30,000 less so far this month than last month." And my heart sank. I knew I needed to stop, and I would. I just needed to bet bigger and have one of those good days to get me back up maybe 20 to 30K out of my now missing $60 to $80,000. And I just cut my losses there. This logic, quote unquote, carried me for months as I spiraled. I stopped going to the casino altogether, and the allure eventually faded. A few months later, I discovered online casinos. I thought they were all illegal or didn't accept US customers until I found one that did. I deposited a few $100 and was able to play slots and table games while laying down in bed at night. The convenience of depositing money straight from my bank account, effectively straight into a slot machine, was just so easy. Too easy. I eventually lost everything I had in my savings account. I felt empty. I felt nothing. The well, fuck it, what's another 10K at this point? Thoughts started creeping in. I used a credit card to see if it would even work, and to my disappointment, it did. I ran up the limit on my credit card, hoping to win enough to pay it back off. When I reached the max, I requested a limit increase, which was granted, then ran it up again. Out of sources of money, I decided to withdraw money out of my Roth IRA into my personal account. The wire took less than 20 minutes the first time. I felt guilty. I felt a rush of anxiety and a thrill as I then immediately deposited that money into the online casino. I turned 10K into $0 in a matter of hours. Started depositing increments of $1,000 because that was reasonable and less money, but I'd lose it and do it again minutes later. Again, reasonable small increment. When bills came due, I didn't have the money for them, so I justified another withdrawal from my retirement account. This time it was to pay bills, so I need this. I withdraw way more than I needed for the bills and blow the rest. During all of this, there were, of course, moments where I turned $100 into $20,000 or $1,000 into $10,000 in minutes as well. It wasn't all losses, which is what kept me hooked. If I could turn $100 into $20,000, just think about what I could do with $1,000. I could get it all back. I kept withdrawing money from my retirement account until I had withdrawn so much that the amount of money left would no longer even cover the taxes I now owed on the quote unquote income and penalties incurred from early withdrawing money out of my retirement account. I was so ashamed I didn't want anybody to know about this. I told no one. My closest friends are all wealthy as I was, but without a gaping hole in their bank accounts. It got harder and harder to keep up with going out to eat and going golfing, etc. My new house doesn't have basic furniture required to host guests. No large sofa, no reasonable dining table. It grew increasingly difficult to justify to all my friends why I haven't had anyone over and why I haven't bought a couch or even basic furniture. The crippling guilt and anxiety over my looming tax obligation forced me to come clean to my best friend. I feel bad for not having said something sooner. It could have saved my future. I'm still reeling in shock with what I've done. It all happened over the course of a single year, with the bulk of it over the last 6 months. I've since stopped entirely. I've got my budget back on track and I have a plan for covering taxes and moving on with my life. Talking to my friend about it put it all into perspective. In hindsight, I feel like I was in a massively depressed fog, not thinking clearly, not caring about my own well-being. It all happened so fast. I'll be dealing with the fallout from this for the rest of my life, but the next few months and years will likely be the most difficult as I pay off all the debt I've foolishly accrued and try to get my life back together. I hope this post serves you as a reminder to everyone to don't gamble at all, because winning might be the worst thing that happens to you. TLDR, finally, I won a ton of money gambling, then tried to repeat the experience over and over until I was broke. I took money out of my retirement to try to keep up appearances, and now I owe income taxes on all that money, but it's in the casino's bank account now. Holy.
This is why I don't go to casinos.
Yep. If I do, it's for the buffet. That's it.
I have been to 3 different casinos in my life. I have been to the MGM in DC. I have been on a casino in the casino on a Carnival Cruise Liner. And I have been to a casino where was it? I can't remember the last one. The one that I went to last was the MGM in DC. And I watched, because it was for a bachelor party. I watched the groom's uncle go in with $100 and walk out with $20K.
Hell yeah.
He paid for a lot of the rest of the trip for us.
I bet. Yeah.
I also watched one of his buddies go in with $100 and walk out with a very angry phone call from his wife.
I bet.
I remember going in and I like, what scared me was like, you see blackjack and whatnot and kind of a little, it's not fast paced. It's kind of just like a normal pace of game and whatnot. Yeah. Even like, 5-card Hold'em or Texas Hold'em. What scared me was the speed in which all this went. Because you don't realize, you don't have time to contemplate what you're losing. It's just in and in and in and in. And if you don't play, you get off the table.
Yep.
This is probably one of the worst fuck ups we've ever seen.
This is a genuine, honest to God fuck up. This is up there. I was never really into casinos. Like, my wife and I went to Vegas, but it was more for like the food and the attractions around it. We did go and throw $40 at a slot, and we were like, we know we're losing this $40, but we're fine with it because it's the experience, right? Like, something you just kind of have to do.
Yeah.
But it's after that I just was like, all right, let's never do this again. Sweet.
Yeah, I don't have like the capacity for it. I don't like like you and I've sat down and played like Hold'em together at like a friend's house. And that's fun because it's you could talk in between hands, you can have some fun, whatever. But casinos, they don't care.
Nope.
Their only job is one thing: to take your money.
Money.
Yeah. I don't even, truth be told, we don't need to read comments after that novel, but I will say again, just to echo, this is the biggest fuck up I think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And good luck, dude.
If you do go to a casino, if you win, pull the fuck out and stop right there.
Especially when you started pulling from your fucking Roth IRA.
Yeah, dude, that's...
You got to know that the government's going to get their money off of that.
Yeah. I mean, the only fortunate part is, he's got a good income. So, hopefully he'll be able to, dial it back in. But
yeah,
I would definitely recommend some sort of like therapy for that too.
Yeah, 100%. Next up. All right.
To a nice.
This was shorter, not so long.
We used to think this was long.
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
All right. Today I fucked up. Number 3, by the way. Today I fucked up by going to a food pantry for the first time and unknowingly becoming a volunteer. I thought I was shopping for myself in an international crisis, food bank security, when I was caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car. Today I fucked up by going to the food pantry unknowingly. Okay, I'm not reading that again. That's all the first paragraph. Yeah. This happened this afternoon. I'm in between jobs and money is tight. I keep reading food bank stories on Reddit and I thought I'd look into one. According to Reddit, it's not embarrassing, has no judgment, and to take what you need. The food bank website About Us said drive through, bring a utility bill, and bring your ID. It was open today from 2 to 3:30, and it's less than 2 miles away. I'm very nervous. I feel guilty being in a time of need, but feeling reassurance from reading all of the Reddit experiences that I decided I'm going to give it a shot. I pull up to the location. It's a large church. I see an industrial building off to the left of the church complex. That must be where I'm supposed to go. Mind you, I'm thinking how strange that it's not busy and there's only a handful of cars. Where's the drive-through? I park and go through a large metal door. There's a sign-in sheet and I fill it out, thinking how nice it was that I didn't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. It looks like the back of a food warehouse with food and shelving. I walk through the maze and see a line of grocery carts. I'm thankful I figured this out all on my own. A woman grabbing a cart asked me why I was there, and I said I was shopping for the very first time and that I had already signed in. She hands me a cart and says she'll walk me through. We shake hands and I get in line with my cart. I put my purse in the cart. The person behind me said I could put my purse back in the break room. I said, that's okay. I prefer to keep it on me. It's chaotic in the food pantry warehouse. We're all lined up with our carts in single file line. We made our way to where the shelves of food started. She instructed me to grab 2 produce items from the large box on the pallet. I'm leaning down and I'm looking at each item, trying to decide which 2 I want. Then we move along. This time it's a tall shelving tower with 4 shelves. I'm told to grab 2 from the top, 1 from the 3rd shelf, 2 from the bottom 2 shelves. It's canned goods and sweets like cupcakes. Again, I'm looking at all the choices. She's getting irritated with me selecting certain items over others. We get to what I think is the checkout, and she tells me we just push the cart out the big door and back in line. I start walking out, confused as hell because my car is on the other side of the building. I ask her how am I supposed to get the food to my trunk. It finally clicks with her that I'm not a volunteer, but a very confused person going to the food bank for the first time. It was so funny. We had a good laugh. She told me the next time what I'm actually supposed to do. Then I take my cart out of the back of the warehouse. I'm loading the very last box in my trunk when security scares the shit out of me. She had a walkie-talkie and was not pleased. I was interrogated. I explained what happened and said it was funny the next time I know what to do. She tells me it's not funny and I need to walk to the other side and fill out a registration form. She grabbed my cart and told me to walk with her. I am so embarrassed, laughing when we are walking there because I now see the actual logistics. There's a snake line of cars like the lines you go through at an amusement park. I'm deposited at the check-in station. Now everything is making sense. The director helped me complete the forms. At least she saw the humor in it. But what ended up happening was I filled out the registration as instructed by security. That was actually the volunteer registration. Anyway, I'll be volunteering on Thursday from 1 to 4. And the kicker is volunteers take all the stuff that's left over. They need the space for the next load. Bonus, I already went through training. TLDR, I fucked up by going to a food pantry for the first time and unknowingly becoming a volunteer. I thought I was shopping for myself in an international crisis, food bank security, when I was caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car. What is this picture? Hang on, I'll see if it's safe. Oh, it's just pictures of all the groceries. That's cool.
Oh, dang. That's a good little haul.
That's a really good haul. Heck
Nice.
yeah.
I think it's probably a kind of a good kind of happy side effect that you ended up volunteering for it too, just to kind of, give in and take out kind of simultaneously, so like you're putting some work in kind of in exchange, so I think it'll be good to see both sides of it.
I agree.
But
I completely agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's funny.
I think this is definitely a much better fuck up than the last one.
Yeah.
I've worked at food banks before, like and volunteer a little bit, and they are like militaristic.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Like it's
I feel like they kind of have to be,
Oh yeah.
Like, because otherwise it's just chaos and people are just going to take everything, so.
Yeah. But you made the right choice by going, because especially if you're in a hard time, like that's what they're there for. They're there to help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I can just imagine being in that position. Like, okay, yeah, sure, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get this one and this one. Look back, irritated. Oh shit, my bad. All right, cool. Hurry up. Like,
at least that person that was helping you saw the humor in it and was kind of chill about it. Security, maybe not so much, but
security reps would throw hands.
Mm-hmm. Security, like, that's ours.
All right, moving on.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button while you're here and join the Lousy Listeners. And also, click the join button. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Lousy member where you can get some awesome perks, cool emotes, and interact with Sam and I. Also, click the link to join our Discord and have fun with all the other Lousy Listeners. Let's get back to the video.
To another long one. I'm not going to be able to talk at work tomorrow.
Can we get an RIP in the comments? RIP Sam. RIP Sam.
nice green tea and honey after this.
Yep.
Just let it soak in my vocal cords. All right, number 2. Today I fucked up by watching people have sex. It's a drastic turnaround from the last 2. My friend and I were smoking weed and talking about life when the topic of sexual fantasies came up. After my friend shared her fantasy, I shared mine. My fantasy was wanting to watch people have sex in front of me. In other words, voyeurism. It was a fantasy I never knew I had until an incident a couple of years ago that involved my intoxicated ex-roommate hooking up with an equally intoxicated girl while I was in the room. My room. It was unexpectedly arousing for me, and I always wanted to experience something similar again, but without the lack of consent and crossing of boundaries that happened that night. My friend said she actually knew a couple that were into exhibitionism and asked me if I would be interested in meeting them. I was caught off guard, so my first reaction was an awkward thanks but no thanks. However, enough time passed for me to eventually change my mind. I informed my friend that I was kind of keen to meet the exhibitionist couple. The meeting happened days later. The couple made me feel less awkward about being in such an unusual situation and convinced me to see where it goes. Plans were made, rules were set, boundaries were clear. Fast forward to literally a few nights ago. I was in my room, sitting on my beanbag, watching the exhibitionist couple kissing and touching each other on my bed. It was surreal to see something that had only been in my mind now happening in front of my eyes. That being said, the build-up toward that moment was much more exciting than the moment itself. In fact, since we're here, I might as well call the experience what it was, a fuck-up. Let me explain. I sensed tension between the girl and the guy when they were kissing. Every time the guy attempted to kiss the girl on her mouth, she would turn her face away. I thought it was like part of their act or some shit, but the girl seemed to go out of her way to avoid eye contact with the guy. Whatever was going on got worse when the two of them got naked. Things were said that I didn't understand because they specifically chose to speak to each other in their native language, which was French. When I finally asked if everything was okay, the guy reactivated his English and was like, everything is, how do you say, A-okay, no? I said something along the lines of, your girlfriend is not looking A-okay, bro, which prompted the girlfriend to interject and tell me that she was no longer his girlfriend. Cue both of them switching back to French before raising their voices at each other. I was forced to raise my hand and clear my throat more than once before I managed to get their attention. I asked the two of them to please explain to me what exactly was happening because I was beginning to feel like I was watching people fighting instead of fucking. The girl got up, got dressed, and got the fuck out, leaving me alone in the bedroom with her naked and erect boyfriend, who felt compelled to grab one of my pillows and fucking kamehameha it at the door after the girl stormed out. At that point, I wanted nothing more than to get everyone that was not me out of my apartment. I stopped caring about what was going on. It was not what I signed up for. I encouraged the guy to calm down and get dressed while I made sure his girlfriend was okay. I found the girlfriend vaping on my balcony. I low-key wanted to tell her that she was using my vape, but on second thought, I knew I was never going to use that vape again since I was fully aware that she licked dick earlier. The girl said she was dumb for thinking she could just focus on the sex without dragging a relationship drama into my bedroom. I said it was okay, which made her even more upset because she was like, how the fuck was this okay? I said I was just trying to make her feel better. She said the only thing that would make her feel better was to stop sleeping with gorgeous guys who enjoyed fucking with their emotions almost as much as they enjoyed fucking her the old-fashioned way. Sorry, one sec. The pillow thrower eventually appeared on the balcony and informed his girlfriend that he arranged an Uber for them to because it was obvious that the night was not going to play out as we planned. It took the Uber about 5 minutes to show up, but the uncomfortable atmosphere made it feel like 5 hours. I did my best to diffuse the situation in the meantime, so I thank the couple for at least attempting to have sex in peace. I meant it as a joke to make light of an awkward situation, but the guy corrected me and said he was the one who attempted, but the same could not be said for his girlfriend. I shut my eyes and sighed because I knew what was coming next. Cue another round of aggressive French words being fired from both sides. I was so fucking over it that I didn't even notice that I was using my vape. You know, the same vape the dick licker was used without asking. Needless to say, I thoroughly washed my mouth as soon as they were gone and made the decision to keep my voyeurism fantasy going forward. TLDR finally decided to bring my voyeurism family to life by inviting a couple into my bedroom so that I could watch them have sex, but the sex never happened because apparently there was trouble in paradise, and the couple ended up fighting in front of me instead of fucking. Dick liquor.
You dick liquor.
Just the next level of you liquor.
Oh my God.
And now I'm going to talk like this for the rest of
That was a journey. I don't think you fucked up here. If I'm being honest, I don't think this was your fuck up because you
No,
didn't
that could have
know.
gone so much better. But
Yeah,
it's not on you. That's
I'm just imagining a French dude storming out on the balcony, hard, angry, naked, rapidly firing French, just like he's just fucking cussing his ex-girlfriend out, like calling an Uber, like sitting there. Just, dudes, OP's just sitting there hitting a vape dong right next to his head. Like, dude's getting angry. He's hitting the vape and he just like sees the dick, sees the vape, sees the dick, and just
oh,
this is incredible.
such a good story.
Oh, that was good. That was so good.
Yep.
Wow. Moral of this story, y'all. Don't vape after the dick liquor. Oh my God.
Oh,
This is like I don't judge. I really don't. I really don't. Like, but like voyeurism and cucking are a very delicate balance between the two. Like,
yeah. I feel like at that point, maybe like, I don't know, like see if there's like a sex club in town or something, and then just go through that process. Cause then it's like more public and nonchalant, you know, like it's,
well, there's a level in which to me, it's like, part of me was, as I was listening to this story, I was almost waiting for like that shoe to drop of like, and then he looked at me and was like, just give him the eyes. And Homie's like, no, I'm here to view. Thank you. Chewing popcorn.
and at the end, he's like, and now I'm in a throuple.
Look, this is, I'm going to let you rest now. Yay.
I appreciate it.
All right, let's do the last one here. This is just too much.
Yep.
All right. Top fuck up of the week. Submitted by I'm the One Who 3 days ago. Today I fucked up by showing my wife to swipe right and see the popular feed. Not a big fuck up, but I feel bad. My wife is new to Reddit. Her profile is maybe 2 years old. I told her how it works and she's enjoyed it so far. While my wife is a very wholesome and my wife is very wholesome and has been filling her feed with things she likes, like I told her to do. She searched for subreddits she's interested in and joins them and enjoys her feed. Simple enough. I've been keeping her up on to tabs on current events and everyday conversations. This happened in the world, so and so in this is in the news. That happened at this place, sort of thing. She's always just asked me where I'm getting my information from, and I just tell her from Reddit. She's always just sort of responded back with, huh? I must have missed that, or I didn't see that at all in my feed. My first really big clue was the Musk Seagull, and I was honestly quite surprised when she said her usual default response. Second flag was when she said she never noticed the massive influx of subreddits requesting to ban all X/Twitter posts. Last night, I decided to forego our usual evening wind down and cuddle while watching unimportant YouTube videos in the background. I decided to put on music and talk about our day and just enjoy each other's company. I showed her something on Reddit that I thought was funny, and she laughed and said, OMG, where did you see that? Send it to me. I told her it should be in her feed. Just scroll down from the top posts. So she did, and and said she couldn't find it. I then asked her to show me her feed, and it was all r/cats, r/dogs with jobs, r/corgis, r/sewing, r/baking, etc., etc. I said, oh, you're in your custom feed. Just scroll right. The look on her face went blank. And she asked, what did I mean scroll right? I said, swipe right and you'll get to the popular feed. Swipe right again and you'll get to the watch section where it's all videos. She just dropped her jaw and told me she never knew about that. I said, oh, that finally makes sense, and showed her how to mute certain subreddits if she didn't want to see them. I went about our evening and thought of nothing of it, except I totally fucked up. She came home from work tonight and just totally numb. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me she's just been in an unfiltered popular doom scroll all day. She's only known like highlights of what's going on in the world from what I've told her. Now she knows everything, and I'm afraid I broke her. I feel bad. TLDR, my wife was only staying in her personal feed and never knew about the popular feed and has been doom scrolling all day. Edit. Oh no, I am not responsible or liable for exposing you to unfiltered Reddit. I can at least tell her she's not the only one. Hell, maybe she'll actually see one of my posts for once. Hi, honey. I love your butt.
I was expecting that to go much worse, knowing what's on Reddit.
Knowing what's on the popular section.
I was expecting just Moby Huge, just immediately. Like,
just fucking hot dog.
yeah, she swipes right and she gets fucking recoil from it.
Look, some of you only watch YouTube, Reddit stuff. You don't really deep dive Reddit. To get the full understanding, you have to, actually go into Reddit. However, we will do what this individual did not and warn you, you're not prepared for what else is in the world.
No.
And you will get the full dick of the world through that feed.
Sometimes literally.
Sometimes literally.
You can edit it out, but you're going to see it as you're silencing things. I think there is like a not safe for work filter that you could just shut off and then like
it shuts off the image.
Yeah, so it'll you'll still see the wording of the post, which sometimes can be worse.
Yeah, you have to click it to actually see the picture at that point. So that does help you. But if you're ready for the long dick of the world, good luck. I stay away from there. I like to live in my subreddits, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd say we ended on a high note. That's, knowing where we came from to where we got, definitely way better.
Yeah, definitely an increase as opposed to the usual, really funny and then, oh, it got real.
Yeah, at least this, we know it got real for them, but for us, we just know. We don't have to deal with the repercussions.
We're already numb to it. Yeah, we're good.
100%. We just all go,
that's Reddit.
I mean, I'm just waiting for the fucking nuke to go off. This is Reddit. All right, cool. Whatever. Oh, yeah. Next. Just keep scrolling. Oh, man. Well, that's it for your weekly TIFU Digest.
Now that I can't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to get water before we recorded, so my mouth is dry as shit. But with all that said,
it's right there.
Yes. With all that said, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what your favorite story was, or if you have any comments on anything that we didn't address. And we'll see you on Saturday.
Bye.
Later.